Okay, so what we're going to do now, it's just one of those times where the comic fam just like helps us create a show. Because what happens is we decide, hey, we're going to do something fun. And then all of a sudden, the comic fam says, I like it. And they want to keep it going. We're talking $10 keys.
We've done this a few times now. It's kind of fun.
You know what? $10 keys. It's just one of those things, man.
It's like when you think about keys and you think about comics that are worth a lot of money and comics that blow up, for somebody like me who doesn't really ever do that, and it's like, I don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on some comic that's way out of my price range, and I just don't even care.
You can buy so many modern books with that money.
Exactly.
I mean, and I get that, man.
Yeah.
I've been there. But here's the thing. Comic collecting isn't just about expensive comics. It's about all kinds of comics. You can have, dude, I have dollar bin comics that I, keep right next to expensive comics in my BCW plastic case that I have, like my nice short box that I keep my slabs in and stuff,
Ooh, fancy.
I know, I get a little fancy with it. I'm very proud of my collection,
Fancy
Ryan.
Dan.
All right, so it's not just about expensive comics. You can get key books that are $1, that are $3, that are under $10, and that's what this conversation's about. Now, I'm gonna, we're gonna continue doing you a solid comic fan because you know what? We've had a handful of these keys take off since we started talking about them. Because guess what? They were good spec. What's up?
What?
All right. You see what that Green Lantern Black Hand's doing?
No.
All right. It was doing well. You see what Alpha Flight 1's doing? Doing well.
By the way, thank you for that. You got me the Green Lantern Black Hand first appearance.
I sure did.
That was a nice con treat. Thank you.
You know what? I hook up my homies because when you're chilling with your homies. Uh-oh. There it is. Oh. I'm a little rusty, comic fan.
It's like that's the one you never use. I don't think anyone's ever heard that song before, so it's hard to remember where it is.
They forget. That's the thing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So $10 key section. Now, we picked some books. Some of these are really cheap. Some of these are good spec books. Some of these may not happen. Some of these may. You never know. But
some
here's
of them
the thing.
just look cool and like I want to read the story, which doesn't really happen on spec stuff for me. But some of these look really cool. Not gonna lie.
Some of these are, like, in my opinion, if you are able to secure this for cheap, you're going to be happy regardless of if it happens. If something in the MCU or DC, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It's a little safer. You're not going to lose your house because you skipped rent to buy an expensive book. All
right, here we go. We're starting it off with the first one. We got Blade #1. What's up? Okay, so Blade 1, Vampire Hunter #1. This is a $3 average book right now. First spectacular issue. First in his own solo series is going for a pretty penny. Like, it's spiked tremendously. His first appearance in Tomb 10, I mean, that's kind of what we just chatted about. You're going to put a lot of money towards that, okay? But this book is a $3 book. It's also the first team appearance of Silver Eye, the covert S.H.I.E.L.D. organization mobilized to eradicate vampires. And we'll know from the most recent Loki episode, I think it was the most recent one. It may have been last week. I've had to watch it.
I watched them back to back, so it's like I saw them both yesterday. It could be one of the last two.
I'm almost certain it was yesterday.
Someone in the comic fam will tell us right now.
It was either this week or last week.
Vampires were confirmed.
Vampires exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's up? But
that would have been a good X-Files one, too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I could kind of go with both. All right, but here's the thing. We know vampires exist. We know S.H.I.E.L.D. is playing a big role in the MCU. Blade #1 issues will spike, for sure. This book, I'm going to call it right now, will be a $10 book eventually. It's going for $3 to $4. Also, take a look at this, because this next book is the variant copy of that issue. And this variant hits $115 on average because of cover art alone.
Do you have like Freddy Krueger claws over there?
He kind of looks like it, right?
What's happening?
I know, it's freaking Blade, man. What's up?
I've been watching True Detective. I'm getting to season 3 with Mahershala Ali, who's going to be playing Blade, and the whole time I'm just like, Blade.
He is such a freaking badass,
He's
dude.
a terrific actor.
He is fantastic, man.
Yes. I'm very excited for that.
Cottonmouth.
Sure. Yeah, he was Cottonmouth. He was in Luke Cage. He was in a Netflix Marvel show already.
Yeah, he's already done this before.
Exactly.
He knows what he's doing. He's going to be so freaking cool on the screen. I can't wait. I miss Cottonmouth, side note. All right, next one on the list. Oh my gosh, that's right. I did it. Uh-oh, what's going on here?
You got away from the bad book.
I got away from the bad book. What is going on? Oh, wrong button. There we go. Don't do that. Gross. We got Youngblood issue #2. The comic fam's going to be like, what are you doing putting Youngblood on this list? Comic fam, we're looking at Youngblood #2. This is
go change my pants.
You love this.
I don't.
This is some Rob Liefeld goodness. What hurts about it, Ryan?
It's Rob Liefeld, man.
Why don't you like Rob?
The story, I'm sure, is even going to be gross. Like, regardless of what this looks like, it's going to be people, superhero teams engaging in pointless fights.
Dude, what's wrong with Pointless? Do you ever watch Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Well, you should.
Actually, I did. I watched a little bit of Majin Buu stuff.
Dude.
That was cool.
And that's actually kind of like after
I'll give you that
good
one.
stuff. You need to watch the Cell stuff, the Android 1718 stuff. Come on.
I was like 6th grade, so everyone gets a pass when you're like 12.
Oh my gosh. I used to draw that hair all day long. Come on. Okay, Youngblood number 2.
Oh, this hurts.
You can get this for $5, Comic Fam. First appearance of Shadowhawk, 5-page story featured on the back cover. First appearance of Prophet, and I'll remind the community that during the early COVID days, May 2020, this book became, it grew and went on Spec Radar and exceeded $10. Why? The writer of Arrow was hired to develop Prophet for a TV series on the CW.
Arrow is not a show anymore, so he's probably got nothing else to do, especially during lockdown this whole time. That shows, I would assume, if he's still working on it, it's probably pretty far along.
Right.
I mean, how much material is there to work with on a shallow Rob Liefeld book like this?
Oh my gosh.
I should actually read some of his stuff so I can complain with evidence.
I need some evidence,
to
Ryan.
back it up.
I'm not believing you right now. But here's the thing. This right here is a minor key. Okay, it is a first appearance. It goes for very cheap. And a CW show, as soon as it hits, every one of these people who are going, who are naysaying.
Are they allowed to do non-DC stuff on CW? I never even thought of that.
I don't know, man.
I guess they did Riverdale. That's not DC.
There you go.
Right?
All right.
Is that on CW?
Again, if you are hunting for comics and they are cheap, go for high-grade copies. All
Correct.
Right? High-grade copies with all these. Again, this is cheap spec, but it's cool. All right. Speaking of cheap spec, we have...
I hate the 90s.
I did. But here's the thing, man. What can you say about the 90s? Because it's been 30 years. And what does that mean?
That means everyone who liked that stuff when they were a little guy is now 30-something and can buy it.
That's right. We have the nostalgia cycle in full swing. We've been talking about G.I. Joe, Transformers. We've been talking about He-Man. Then we're talking about 90s stuff. Power Rangers is even spiking, like the original, like the first appearance book. We also have
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles, which is a little older, but still.
Beast Wars is back in a IDW book that I'm like the only subscriber on, I feel like. So I can't lie. I'm vulnerable to nostalgia as well.
Well, why not Wildcats 1, which is a $5 book for a near mint high grade copy? Yes. Was it printed to all hell? Of course. But we have the first appearance of multiple characters: Zealot, Voodoo, Spartan, the Grifter. That's right. Grifter was on Spec Radar because of Future State, and he's doing stuff now.
He's kind of in the background of the Batman run, I think, right now.
That's right. They pulled him on
recently. I don't know if he's been in lately, but he's been in Batman lately.
As soon as you start to complain about Wildcats being on my list today, consider this, Comic Fam. Yes, this was printed. Jim Lee book, okay? So you're going to complain about a Jim Lee book. That's what you're doing if you're complaining about Wildcats right now. But here's the thing, let's just add another layer to that. You know what else was coming out around the same time that also had a ginormous print count? X-Men. All right? Jim Lee.
Yes.
Come on. And what's that book doing? People scoff. They're like, that book will never be worth more than $1. And granted, it's not worth crazy amounts. But it's still, high grade. People are hunting for newsstand copies. They're worth money now. You pull them out of a dollar bin if you find it, Pull out Wildcats 1
the
if you find
further
it.
away you get from it, the less, available it's going to be, I guess. And, time.
That's what I'm saying. This next one, we got Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, issue number 15, the first meetup of Riri Williams and Moon Girl. Makes sense.
Fun.
It's fun. Did you like this book right here?
That just looks. I want to see where this cover comes from. Does this happen?
There you go.
In the book.
In the book.
She's roller skating with a jetpack,
which
would be awesome.
Yeah, think how dangerous that is.
That's true. She's very small.
I would just whoosh,
right,
like
or
just
hit
straight
a car.
to the floor, or hit a car. Right. I want to see Ryan on rollerblades.
You could have.
Not rollerblades. Those are like actual skates. Like she's got like
rewind like
reels.
25 years ago. You could have seen me on some sick rollerblades, man.
Did you wear the things on your wrists so that when you fall, you don't hurt your...
I never fell, man.
You never fell?
I didn't even wear a helmet.
You didn't wear a helmet?
No, I did.
Oh my gosh, man! You
I'm
had to wear a helmet,
so scared, man. I wore all kinds of pads and real slow.
Really slow. Well, there you go.
But I did.
This book is a $3 book. People don't know about it. People don't talk about it. Shout out Octavio, one of our homies in the community, but also on the team who helps us source books like this. Because when it's not being spec'd on, it's a good time to secure. You may have this in your back issue bin. I mean, honestly, if you're an LCS, you may have multiple copies of this just sitting around, you know?
This is a good example of a series that is going to be responsible for the younger generation liking comics. This is a popular run with a certain demographic, an age group.
That's right. Remember
and I
this
believe
book?
these are both adapted. They're both optioned, right? So Riri Williams and
Both.
Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur.
Double optioned. It's event books, right? When it's
Cool.
an event, it could be something long term. Again, it may not hit $30, but it could. It could hit $10. And for a cover price book, that's probably in dollar bins.
Right.
It makes my list, yo.
Plus, worst case scenario, you hopefully get a mad roller skating jetpack scene in there with a dinosaur. So.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Blue Beetle number 3. This was some high-res goodness, but you know what? This was on Spec Radar. I don't even remember if the community, like, I mean, we have a lot of new members here, but Key Collector and our show essentially in like the same day simultaneously spilled the beans, having an inside source that John Cena was confirmed to be Peacemaker. That happened. All right. We got credit for that. Shout out Key Collector. We got word on it. We got confirmation. We had people like on the inside, baby. We're finding stuff out for the Comic Fam. Hit the subscribe button. But the question then became, which Peacemaker? Ooh, which Peacemaker is going to be? Is it going to be the fantastical weird one? No, probably not, right? Probably be the modern one.
John Cena.
John Cena's going to be
Can't play a
Peacemaker.
silly, goofy guy.
Come on. Well, this right here is Blue Beetle number 3. This is the modern version of the Peacemaker. And yes, turns out he's going to play the goofy version. But you know what? James Gunn, he likes taking risks. He wants that goofiness. And John Cena's going to bring the heat. But you know what? This is a modern book that was hitting above $20 for some time. And now you can secure it $10 all day long. Just be patient if you're not finding them listed. But this book is not being spec'd on. John Cena's getting his own show on HBO, all right? Like, they're good. He's going to survive Suicide Squad is what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Or get resurrected or some weird James Gunn trippiness. I'm sure something's going to happen.
Something will.
And if they went with the other version of Peacemaker, it makes sense that the version they did not use would drop in price and drop off people's radar. But if he's getting his own show, they're going to want to, use other ideas over time. Certain things are going to happen. And
what if he changes style? What if he goes, modern Peacemaker, and this is a book that people were speccing on. Sometimes hot books get cold. That's a great time.
That's
to
when you
spec.
buy them. Yeah,
that's when you buy
once
them.
nobody's paying attention.
That's right. Next one.
XBabies.
I did this one for you, my brother.
Thank you.
I did this one for you because
This is adorable.
People are sleeping on it, man. Pint size XBabies number 1, $3 average sales. This is my notes from Octavia. Listen to this. The XBabies are slowly gaining attention. Don't sleep on this one. The first appearance of 21 characters. That's right. 21 X-Men characters. We have mutants that, if mutants hit the screen, there's no telling what they'll do over on Disney+. Hey, I like his note here. What about kids? We're seeing all of these shows right now out the gate. Granted, they're delayed, and that's why we're seeing them now.
Right.
But we would be shows ahead if COVID didn't happen. What will end up happening is a entire portfolio that's going to mirror the Star Wars portfolio. What's happened with Star Wars on Disney+?
Right. They got the cartoons again. So they're starting to,
They're branching out.
I could see that.
So if X titles are coming and we need stuff to spec on, people are like really all about, obviously Strange Academy, for example. Well, that makes sense, right?
Ooh, that would be a cool cartoon.
It would be a cool cartoon. It's a great spec right now. I think
Gem Mint's in the house.
Gem Mint.
It's your boy Gem Mint.
That's right.
It's
All right.
Gem Mint.
Yeah. What show do you have Gem Mint on the damn soundboard, Comic Fam?
This one.
This one. Hit the like button.
It's
Comic
this
Fam.
one. It's
Come
this.
on.
It's us.
And how I just terribly don't
We
know
have a
it.
bunch of other sounds on the soundboard too that Tom.
As you
we
can
should
see.
label them.
I should label them.
Write on them with this Sharpie, and that way you can never, ever, ever remove Gem Mint from the soundboard.
XBabies. Don't sleep on XBabies, especially because the first appearance of XBabies in full. We chatted about when the X-Men turn into XBabies in issue annual 11. Well,
Do they fight other babies? Are there villain babies that they are in fake combat with?
You're gonna have to read it, comic.
Are
Man.
they punching other children? Is this like baby
full
on
out-
baby violence?
Full out brawl, my brother.
Like in
Full out
the
brawl.
playground? Are they
I
in
don't
school?
remember, dude. I don't
That's what
remember this.
I want to know.
Man, it's like the annuals, man. It's one of those ones where it's like I know I got to read the annuals, but I stick to the main.
Is it like Rugrats but with superpowers?
That'd be so cool.
Like, Chucky with Cyclops powers.
Chucky with Cyclops powers.
I want that.
I want a
Comic.
Rugrats exclusive.
That'd be cool.
Boom Studios. Where
Shout
you at?
out, Boom.
All right, well, right here we have the first full appearance of XBabies. Same, you know, speaking of XBabies, right? Don't sleep on the first appearance. This is a $3 book, and it's a thicker book. It's going to be harder to secure in high grade, especially the newsstand. Look out for the newsstand. That's what I would recommend on all these ones if you can find them. Newsstand over direct copy, high grade over all else. Right? Because they're cheap enough that you might as well be picky. Make sure that they're clean and that they are mint.
It's your boy Jim Mint.
Okay, here we go. Let's keep it rolling here. Look at that storm cover. Bada bing. Next one.
Ooh.
I put this one on here just because that feeling that you just had, that sound. Can you do it again?
Ooh.
That is the same noise you made when I first showed you this comic book.
I make that noise a lot.
Well,
It just happens.
When you talk
Sorry.
about, you know, when you talk about things like Galactus, we all know Galactus is coming, right? Who do you associate Galactus with besides Fantastic Four?
Silver Surfer.
Always. Silver Surfer Galactus. Galactus and Silver Surfer. The trifecta. Johnny Storm goes to college. Like, these are the things we think about, right? You know what I'm talking about, comic fan. Well, Doctor Strange and Galactus they have a long history as well. And having them on this cover, this is a classic book, an Infinity War crossover, issue 42 of Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. This book goes for criminally low for as awesome of a cover this is, and I would be happy to own it no matter what.
How? Okay, I've been. I know you've been saying a bunch of stuff, but ever since you put this cover up, I feel like Galactus is supposed to be bigger than this, right? Like, how tall is Galactus if Doctor Strange is that size in his hand?
That's a good question.
He's supposed to be like larger than the whole planet, isn't he?
He's huge, man.
Right, and now he's. I don't know. I don't fool around with statues like our boy Jim Mint, but I feel like the scale is off here.
You think we got some statue scalage problems?
If I knew, offhand what a 1/8, looks like or something,
you'd be like, oh, this is not that.
Doctor Strange should be a lot smaller on Galactus's hand, I feel like.
Well, you want the cover to look freaking good, man.
We can't even put this on the list now. This
take
is
it
no
off.
good. Yep.
No, man, but how cool is this, man?
To be real though, this is the book out of all the books we have here, this is the one that appeals to me most, other than maybe XBabies. I have discerning taste.
All right, there you go, comic fam. I mean, and this one isn't like necessarily a huge like spec book to me. This is one that if I found it for $1, I'd buy it all day long. This is one that I would like to get graded at a 9.8. I think it's freaking gorgeous. You look at this background. You have almost like these Kirby designs back here. Obviously, it's not a Kirby book.
It's got to be on Galactus' ship, like all that weird trippy design on his ship in space.
That's how it goes.
I want to know what happens in the book too, which is rare.
Yeah, man, we got to go through the Infinity War crossover and cover every single issue.
We should probably, that's a good idea. We should probably do that.
Let's do it. All right, this next one here, we got Spider-Girl issue number 6. That's number 6. Okay, this book right here is the first appearance of Lady Hawk, the female Falcon.
Okay.
Now, will this happen? Probably not. Maybe. I mean, everyone thought Joaquin Torres was a done deal. I kind of thought that was going to happen, and it didn't.
I wasn't even paying attention to that closely in the show, I guess, because I don't even remember this character.
Joaquin Torres, man. He helped fix his wings up and everything. Someone's got to take on the mantle of Falcon, but who's to say there can't be more than one Falcon? Come on.
You don't know how long the show's going to be, too. They might run out of ideas by season 12 or something,
Keep it going, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You know what? This is the female version. We also have Spider-Girl, which is a run that, for those of you who don't know, was so liked when it was coming out. Marvel tried to end it multiple times as just like, they were like, we're done. Like, we can end it, move on, do something else. And the readers kept it going. Like, you can look this up. People talking about it when it was on their pull list. People writing in, demanding more Spider-Girl. Like, they weren't going to let this run stop. So what that means is, and just a little side note to that as well, I've owned a handful of Spider-Girl comics. The chat will help me out here. You'll know what I'm talking about. These pages, they're rough. Like, not the interiors or writing, but like the quality. Like, the paper isn't the best during this time frame. They tend to get beat up. And considering that readers were actively reading this run to all hell, these are really tough to get in high grade. So I would say just on grade alone, this is exciting to me, because if you're a Falcon fan, you would want the other Falcon appearances. But if there's MCU spec to be had, having a high grade copy, I bet if we look up on the census, there's like a minuscule amount of these.
I'd never even heard of Lady Hawk until I came over to her house today. So
there you go.
For what that's worth.
Now, did you know
I did
that
not know.
freaking Conan?
I learned a lot today, guys.
This right here, Comic Fam, is my favorite book on this list today. I'm going to blow your mind. Todd McFarlane did a Conan cover.
Conan babies.
Conan babies.
Is there a baby Conan with a sword?
Baby barbarians.
And abs?
That's right.
That'd be cool.
They're like Spartans. They're like freaking just ripped.
300 babies?
There's 300 babies. Why don't we, Frank Miller should rewrite 300.
We should make comics, but with babies.
Just everything's a baby.
Yes.
It's like
Dracula babies?
Dracula babies.
Dude. X-Men babies? No one thought of that.
No one thought of XBabies, man.
Yeah, let's trademark that one.
All right, so Conan the Barbarian 241. Comic Fam, this book is one that you need to be hunting for. Very fine near mint. This is what's really cool about it. Look at this price right here. $5.50. I just proved it to you. Okay, but here's the thing. If you go onto eBay to look up this book, this Todd McFarlane Conan Savage book, you're going to see them listed for $20, $30, $40. 9.2 is hitting over 100. 9.4 is hitting 130 or so. 9.8, that's like in the $300 to $400 range. Newsstands that are selling for an inflated amount. People who want this book, they go and buy it now. No one's looking for the book, and they're not being patient, because when you see auctions end at under $10, but high grade copies that are being listed for that amount, it's because just people don't know that this happened. Conan is on pace for Netflix. Red Sonja is on pace for, I believe it's a movie, is what it's sounding like. It's the Todd Father, man. And this is a stellar cover.
I did not know he even did a Conan book. Is it just me, or does this look like, I don't remember which issue of Spider-Man it is, but I feel like I've seen a Spider-Man
It kind of does. You're talking like I think
this.
it's Spider-Man 8.
It's not 300, but there's one where
he's like
another famous one of his from this angle and like in kind of this pose.
There you go.
Either way, this cover is freaking awesome, and I have pretty vocally not been a Conan fan or a Todd McFarlane fan. But
Conan
this is cool.
241. Hot damn, Comic Fam. We love comics here, especially when they're done by the Todd Father, and when they're affordable, and when you can find them on the hunt.